Imagine a cold January evening in 1927, where brilliant minds like Werner and Heisenberg gathered in the misty street of Brussels, forever altering the course of science with the advent of quantum physics. They discovered the unimaginable. A universe governed by unseen forces where particles could exist in multiple states at once, responding not just to observation, but intention. Fast forward to 1987, another fateful January night. This time on the remote shores of Ibiza, a man named Ra Uru. He received the revelation of the human design system, a blueprint mapping the interplay of cosmic energy and human uniqueness, two pivotal moments in history, decades apart. Yet their threads are now interwoven, and today we stand at the threshold of something epic. The merging of quantum physics principles with the human design wisdom, a revelation of consciousness where we finally decode not just the mechanics of the universe, but the divine potential within each of us. In this video, we are looking at all of the sciences merged in the human design system, and particularly the ones that most people do not talk about, the modern day sciences, particularly quantum physics. Together, we're going to discuss the sciences involved in human design and realize that what we usually discuss is the chakra system, the gates. We talk about the channels, we talk about profile, we talk about the chakra system, meaning the defined, the undefined centers. We talk about the astrology. When we're reading charts, those are the main areas we're focusing on. And yet, we need to understand there are more sciences involved in human design than the ones that are readily available to discuss when looking at your chart. And that is where we're going today. So let's do an overview of the sciences that are involved in human design. So human design is a personality assessment tool. And usually what we know is that it includes astrology, I Ching, the Kabbala, the chakra system, the tree of life, which actually is part of the Kabbala. But these are the things that people mention, the ancient sciences and the modern day sciences. There is usually a list of modern sciences: quantum physics, genetics, astronomy, biochemistry. Also, we hear neutrino sciences. So there are different modern sciences that we hear mentioned. But where do these modern sciences come into play? And how are they looked at when discussing your personal human design chart? So let's look at quantum physics. At its core, human design integrates the principles of quantum mechanics. But how? That is the question. The idea of energy fields and entanglement aligns with the way neutrinos, which is the tiny subatomic particles that Ra discovered when he made the download, when he had the download of the information of human design. And it was before neutrino sciences were actually discovered. So he had discovered this first, and it helped him to affirm the knowledge. And the neutrino sciences, it's said to carry information that pass through matter, including our bodies. So it's information that passes through all of the human bodies that exist on the earth plane. So this ties into human design the belief that we are constantly influenced by the energy of the cosmos. When it comes to genetics and epigenetics, what we're looking at is that human design draws on the structure of the 64 grams of the I Ching, which mirror the 64 codons of human DNA. The system suggests that the specific gates in the body graph influence our genetic expression. And just as epigenetics shows us the environments can turn genes on or off, human design explores how external energies influence our personal coding. So, what this means, if you've studied human design, is the conditioning. So, when we look at the centers, we know that wherever you are white in your center, you are being conditioned from the outside world. So, we'll see here in this chart, we have a white, or what we call undefined head, the white sacral here, which actually has no hanging gates, so we call that open. And then we have the solar plexus here, which is undefined, and the root, which is undefined. This is actually Ra Urahu's chart. And the white areas designate where a person is absorbing, amplifying, taking on all of the energies of the outside world and thinking it is them. And that is the first place we explore our not self theme. And what human design is then saying is when we observe and we sit in the passenger consciousness, we begin to change the dynamic dance that we have between us and the world around us. This helps us understand the quantum physics and what we have the influence to change and what we do not. So there is much talk in the human design world around this theory of no choice, which means we are born into these bodies and these bodies have a life, and the life is designed by our gates and our channels. But what we can control is what we become aware of. And awareness and how we choose the vibration and the frequencies within our vehicle, when we choose to act, when we choose to wait, when we choose to become aware, that is the difference that changes our realities and our worlds to coexist in either our signature theme or our not self theme. So the signature theme for the generators is in this vibration of satisfaction, in this vibration of success for projectors, or we have the vibration of peace, or we have the vibration of awe and wonderment for the reflectors. Now, what we don't talk about quite often is all of those vibrations and frequencies are what is known in the law of attraction, or the David Hawkins scale, to vibrate at frequencies which are more aligned to the vibration and the frequencies that move you into a state of being able to manifest the world that you want to live in. So when you're living in the not self theme, you are creating discomfort, you're creating the not self signatures, which is frustration, bitterness, anger, disappointment, and those are lowered down in the David Hawkins scale. This is a quick look of the David Hawkins scale, and this is used quite often in the law of attraction. And although it is very different in its ideology and philosophy to human design, I think that we can start to see the similarities of living in the signature themes of peace. And the words are different, satisfaction and success, but you can see that when you are in the not self, more the themes of frustration, of anger, we're in survival paradigms. We are in energies that push away a life that we love and create resistance in our manifestations. So, for those of you who don't know my work, my name is Raquel and I am a human design radical teacher. I use more of the spiritual tools. I'm more of a spiritual practitioner who works with those people that have had spiritual experiences that are connected to the unseen forces, and they're trying to embody their gifts, their clairvoyant gifts as spiritual practitioners in a practical world. Human design was the bridge for me. It helped me to build a life by understanding that I was a projector. I had a particular strategy, and I utilized human design to practically align my spiritual gifts into a world and into a career that I loved. And now I bring that information out to my clients to help them understand how to bridge that gap for themselves as well. And the big question here that I get often is, how do we merge the law of attraction manifestation skills with the knowledge of human design? Where is the bridge? Where are they similar? Where are they different? So in human design, oftentimes we say that we are born into these vehicles, and there are certain things that we cannot change, and there are certain things that we can change. And I think that understanding this with the law of attraction is also very important, because you cannot just snap your fingers and manifest what you want in this third dimensional reality, this place where we have slowed down. The frequency is very much based in a slower manifestation process. And it's very hard for us as humans to understand how this process operates. And so finding these commonalities and differences really helps us in the experiment of understanding what works and what doesn't. In human design, we take on the 7-year experiment. In 7 years, we try to live through our strategy and our inner authority. But oftentimes, people who have had trauma or wounding, or they have anxiety, PTSD, complex emotional dysregulation, things like this, then just understanding strategy and inner authority doesn't actually, in practice, help to heal some of the more complicated things that people are experiencing. Or on the other hand, we have people that have been experiencing for 7 years, and perhaps their business has grown, their careers have grown, they have a nice family, they're making money, they're feeling good, but they want to go to the next level. And they say to themselves, well, I've been studying and living my inner authority, but it feels like I'm ready to grow and go to new levels. And that is when we merge and bring in the deeper understandings of quantum physics, which is a part of human design, because the quantum, meaning what we observe and how the particles and the waves react based on our focus, as well as understanding the environment influencing our genetic coding, is what is around us. We then begin to realize that when we put ourselves in fear dynamics, in chaos, we watch the news, we are constantly bombarded by the messaging out there in the world, we can't help it but take on some of these fear prophecies. Now, even Ra Uru had a fear prophecy for 2027, and we are getting close to that time. And so it's really important to understand that in the next couple of years, that we have the power to either step into a reality that we are co-creating with the universe and our vehicles to be one more of fear, or one that's based more in alignment with the peace, joy, success, satisfaction. And so even if you've been living your design for a long time, or you're completely new to this information, the process is the same. Is that when you see something that's very overwhelming, like the recent fires in LA, the drones, the wars, the elections, all of these things affect us emotionally and cause dysregulation if we don't have the power and the focus to make sure that these things are not influencing us. Human design, we call this passenger consciousness, but what we are adding is a little bit more focus into the quantum. This helps us understand that we have within us the power to timeline jump, and understanding that you, within you, have the power to change what you want to live and what you do not want to live. So, in order to timeline jump, you have to understand where your power lies. What can you change and what can't you change? The quantum timeline jumping is about becoming aware that infinite possibilities align with the field of the quantum. Time is relative. The past repeats itself when we live in the not self theme. This is because we have conditioning elements in our field, which means that perhaps a parent told you over and over again that you need to work hard in order to make money. Now, that is a common conditioning element. You need to give over your truth to a company, to a job, to a 9 to 5 if you want to survive on this earth plane. We've all been conditioned with that because we've been conditioned by the 4037 part of the incarnation cross that we are moving out of. It was a big conditioning element. And if you believe that, that is in your field, and you're either a generator or really pretty much any type, and you want to live more in alignment with your truth, you need to unravel that thought form, that conditioning element that is within your psyche. And sometimes these things are so ingrained and they're so a part of how we grew up, what our parents believe, how we were led to believe that life is based on. It's so ingrained that we don't know how to step out and move into that place of stillness, that place of alignment, that place where we stop the mind chatter. If we don't know how to do that, we just keep recreating and recreating. The quantum physics and timeline jumping is teaching us how to create that stillness in the mind pattern. This is all part of deconditioning as well. But when you do it with a chemical shift, what Ra Uru called the encounter, when a chemical vibrational shift happens in the body. And if you haven't seen my other videos about how he created his chemical shift, he used ketamine, which is a synthetic drug, to create the chemical shift. But when you are someone like me who relies more on energy work, relies more on meditation and focus, you know that you can, through your intention, create a chemical shift in the body naturally. It causes a lot less hangovers, it's a lot easier to navigate, and it also creates a more dynamic shift that you can control. However, it does take some dedication and some focus, and you have to learn how to control the sloppy thinking of the mind, which we all have. And so right now we're in the process of doing our quantum timeline jumping, where we're going to teach you and help you with vibrational frequency energy shamanic tools to step into the highest divine timeline for your highest self, the best case scenario timeline that you can control within your own life. And so you don't have to buy into the fear scenarios that you can create within your own home, within your own families, your own career, a beautiful timeline, a beautiful life of peace and joy and awe. You can control what goes on in your home, in your body, in your mind. That's what you have power over. That's what you have control over. And this is what we are going to be doing within the next couple of months as we do our quantum timeline jumping. I'm going to put some links in the description below so you can come and join us. It is going to be an epic adventure. It is going to take some focus. Yes, you're going to need time. You're going to need your intention. You're going to need to have some focus. And even if we just started the timeline jumping. So whenever you get this video, still check it out, because we're going to have recordings available. We're going to have ways for you to go back through and re-listen to all of the experiences that we had. So feel free to jump in anytime you get this, because in the quantum timeline, there is no time. It's in the infinite now. So whoever you are, whenever you are listening to this, whenever you are getting this transmission, it is the right time for you. We are available for you. We're going to hold this vibration and this frequency, because we know that not everyone buys into all of the fear that's being pushed in many places, in spiritual communities and human design communities, as well as the media. Because if you are a spiritual practitioner like we are, you know that there is a difference between the fear and the love. If you are a student of A Course in Miracle, or even any of the teachings of the Christ consciousness, or even Jesus' teachings himself, we know that there is the vibration of love, that vibration of all is well, that vibration that when we align to peace and we align to the satisfaction and we align to this vibration of joy, we open the reality and the timeline that we can step into, that we can calm our nervous systems, and we can create a beautiful piece of heaven in our own homes, in our own fractal, with our own connections to the people or animals around us. That is the reality that we can control. And through this journey, we're going to help assist you in that place, so that we can override the prophecies, the fears, and step into an alignment of peace. The quantum timeline jumping, it's not just for your well-being in your life. It's also for your business, how you align with your career, with abundance in general, regardless of what you do. It's also how to align to a vibrational frequency field of health. So remember that the past repeats itself when we live in the not self. This is because of the conditioning elements in our field. So another example is when we hold the awareness that we are the kind of people who have to work hard for money. We sacrifice. We can't be ourselves. We have to put on a suit or go into the office or work hard to make money happen. This is out of alignment with most all of the human design information. You do not have to sacrifice. Sometimes, yes, you work hard if you're a generator or MG and you love to work and you are in your satisfaction. But we are here to free you from that old conditioning element, free you to know that you can align to a life that's unique to you, that's in abundance, and that you can shop with joy and pay money with the absolute knowing that the infinite is available, that more is coming, and that your work in the world can be of joy and service and alignment to your truth. Wouldn't that change the world if everyone was aligning to what they loved and what brought them purpose? That is the existential question we're coming up against as we merge with the AI technologies. It's time to step out of the fear. It's time to vibrate in your signature theme and to understand how the quantum physics merges through the human design knowledge, so that you can step into the timeline that is the highest, best case scenario for your life. I will see you in the quantum.